What up YouTube, it's Miserate's Company. In this video, I want to talk about something that we just got a little bit more information on, which is the brand new main and offhand that is coming to the game potentially. Now again, this is all speculation. This is all very much just data mined. And we have a little bit more information, but I do want to cover it because it's actually not a little bit, it's a lot of bit. And some of it sounds really, really cool and could be buffing your favorite class. So let's go ahead and take a look at it right now. All right, so this is actually very public information. It was posted 1 day ago. Now, by the time you see this video, it might be a day or two. Haven't decided in the order at which I'll be posting my videos, but this one I thought was really cool, so I wanted to go ahead and get it uploaded. So this is all speculation. It is unlocked at Hell 8 difficulty currently in the code. You get additional main and offhand abilities. There is one new button to activate an ability as well, which is pretty cool. So each class gets 2 new abilities called poses. Weird name, but okay. I believe you can choose which one, main or offhand, to put in that new button. No idea when or if this is even slated to be released or coming to the game at all. Again, we have no idea. This could be just a complete shot in the dark. However, generally speaking, the data mines have been pretty accurate. So I think you may be able to slot gems in the new slots, but I'm not certain at this point. Again, that would make sense. That was also my hypothesis as well, is that it makes sense if we get 2 new slots that we get the ability of adding 2 new gems. Not confirmed, total speculation, but I mean, honestly, if you see my videos recently about monetization in Diablo Immortal, it's a fair guess that that's coming, because that would help promote new and spur the moment spending for some of the whales. Now, the poses are as listed below. We have focus, control, rage, defense, precise, recovery, agility, and taming. Now, each class has a pre-assigned 2 poses assigned to them, and it sounds like, based off the data mine, you can pick one of those 2 poses from your class, of the 2 you have available to you. So, and this is the breakdown right here. Make sure it's on screen. So Wizard has focus and control, and I'll break down what all of them are here in a second. So Wizard has focus and control, Barbarian has rage and defense, Monk has precise and recovery, Demon Hunter also has precise and agility, Crusader has focus and defensive, Necromancer has taming and agility, Blood Knight is also mentioned in this, has focus and defense. So very interesting. It does, again, confirm that they're adding more and more to the game for the Blood Knight, which really helps us to believe that this could be coming maybe around the 1-year mark, because that would be a lot of sense, which would be, I mean, gosh, here in like a month or 2, I believe. So each, again, of those, let's go ahead and break down what they is though. As I run into my microphone. So focus pose, and you have an active ability and a passive for each pose. So the active for focus pose is increase critical skill strike. So critical strike rate by 45% for 3 seconds. The passive is increase skill critical strike rate by 15%. So who gets the focus? Wizard, obviously. And the reason I kind of hesitated through that is that it's skill critical strike, not your it doesn't necessarily read as like your auto attacks or basic attacks. This one does. You see how it calls out basics differently, so that's interesting. So the focus is only for the Wizard and the Crusader. That's interesting. I mean, all right. So it looks like only those 2. So very interesting. And so it's all critical strike focus. Again, like the passive is increased critical strike rate by 50%, which is huge. And then you get the active ability where you can basically burst someone down and get an additional 45% for 3 seconds. And those 2 alone, assuming you have 0 critical strike, is going to get you to 60% critical strike, which is more than 50. More than 50% chance you're going to critical strike your skills for 3 seconds. That's really good, especially with like a controlled burst window. I think that one is going to be really, really good for the Wizard. You could tie that really interestingly with the helmet that also increases your damage for a percent or period of time by a % amount. So there's some interesting builds you could make with this. Control. Control pose, active, stuns nearby enemies for 3 seconds. Passive adds 40% deceleration effect to basic attacks, 20% to players. So you slow down the basic attack speed of the person you hit it with, or is it for yourself? Really hard to tell. So the control pose seems good. It gives you the stun for 3 seconds, and then the passive is hard to determine what it is, but adds deceleration by 40% effects to basic attacks. I don't know if that's to yourself or to others. It's hard to read based off this. So who gets control? Again, the Wizard, as well as no one. So, wow. The Wizard is the only one that gets this active stun ability for 3 seconds. Now, that seems really good. It also kind of makes sense with how squishy the Wizard is, so that makes a lot of sense to me. Next up is Rage Pose. So, active is basic attack speed increased by 45% for 3 seconds. Passive is basic attack speed is increased by 15%. Again, looking at a peak of 60% for 3 seconds, which is really good. So, the Rage one is given to Barbarian, and that's it. Interesting. See, I thought that would be really good for Demon Hunter. Interesting. Okay, so only the Barbarian gets that. Defensive pose, active, gain a shield equal to 200% of your own damage for 3 seconds. Okay, interesting. Passive, reduce damage received by 10%. Wow, that's just a flat 10% damage reduction. That's pretty good. Who gets this? Crusader, Barbarian, and Blood Knight. Interesting, interesting. So the Blood Knight gets crit and then a defensive option. I can't wait to see what the Blood Knight is. That seems like a really interesting combination. Moving on. Precise pose, basic attack, crit rate. Okay, so this makes sense for the Demon Hunter then. Crit rate increased by 45%. Basic attack crit rate increased by 15%. Again, this is going to be for the, oh wow, the Monk and the Demon Hunter. That's pretty nutty. Wow, monks are going to blow people up. Jesus. Like, I'm more scared about a Monk getting another burst window. That's kind of crazy. Recovery pose. So obtain a healing equal to 180% of your own damage. The passive is the applied and received healing and shield effects are increased by 20%. So basically that equals 200%. And if you have a shield already, that seems really bad. I'm not gonna lie. Who gets this one? Recovery. Just the Monk. Yeah, okay, it's trash. Sounds good. The Monk will never use that. Agility pose, dash forward 3 meters. Interesting. Passive, movement speed increased by 10%. Wow. So just a flat 10% increase to your speed, but then you also get basically a dash or a teleport, which is pretty cool. 3 meters, I don't know how far that's going to be in game. Who gets the agility one? Demon Hunter? Okay, that checks out. And Necromancer? So the Demon Hunter makes sense because they're already pretty quick and they have like those little bit of a dash mobility-esque. Then the Necromancer feels like it's more of like a fix to the Necromancer to try to give them a little bit more mobility. So which also makes sense. Interesting. I just wasn't expecting that. Last but not least is the Taming Pose. Active summon. Your summons have haste increased by 45% for 3 seconds. And then your passive is your summons have a haste increase by 15%. Again, with that 60%. Fun fact, fun peak number there when you get to for the 3 seconds. So all in all, this is really interesting. I think this is could actually dramatically change a lot of like PvP in particular, because it is a burst window for most of these things. I also love that it already has the Blood Knight built in. I can't help but assume that means that if this is truly coming to the game, that it would mean that the Blood Knight is coming before this, or maybe at the same time. So that's really exciting to me. I can't wait to see this in the game. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Is this a W? Is it an L? To me, it's a massive W. I think that, like I said, you get some pretty cool potential, and there's player choice with your builds, which again is pretty cool. And then obviously the monetization part of it kind of is lame if you get to do another gem slot. Now you're talking about another resonance cap, but again, you know, if it keeps the game alive and it keeps us getting sick updates, then whatever, I'm good with it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Until next time, lock it in.